tonight. After a violent weekend in downtown Little Rock, the city expanding a curfew.
THV 11 is live ahead of tonight's vote to extend a curfew into the weekend. Plans to improve roads in Faulkner County will come at a cost.
Our team explains the long-term goals for delaying traffic. And stay with us for 6:30 Central. We've got video of the extensive floodwaters rushing along the northeast coast.
Live from the THV 11 studio, scattered storms are impacting central Arkansas. Thank you for joining us. I'm Faith Woodard.
And I'm Rolly Hoyt, and that's Chief Meteorologist Tom Brannon. He's been following that one storm here northwest of Little Rock, plus one earlier today that got us all wet around here. What are we looking at right now?
When we last left you at 5:30, I was taking a look at this storm developing in northern Pulaski County, and it has developed and a pretty good little thunderhead with it. Here's the Arkansas River, and we're looking out toward the Maumelle area, Mayflower area, maybe more Mayflower between the two communities, but it is raining out there. You can see a little bit of a rain shaft here, and that's the way it's been this afternoon. We had a fairly strong storm move into the Little Rock area about an hour and a half ago, just on the front end of the afternoon and evening drive. Here's what we have, and there you go. It's moving right over the Mayflower area, so a little bit of an outflow boundary over Lake Maumelle, more activity up toward Conway, some activity that has moved across I-530, so there will be some wet roadways to contend with for the drive home. All of this is very spotty, but these storms will dump a lot of heavy rain in a very short amount of time. Saw some reports of some street flooding with these thunderstorms that moved through earlier in the afternoon. Heat advisories return tomorrow. Heat index values 105 or better in a lot of locations in central and eastern Arkansas. We'll talk about those numbers here in just a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you. Little Rock City leaders are working quickly to address the fallout after large crowds of teens caused chaos downtown over the weekend.
Mayor Frank Scott Jr. is calling for a 10 p.m. curfew on Saturdays and Sundays, and the board of directors is expected to take it up in the next few minutes at their meeting this week.
THV 11's Maya Ellison is live just outside that meeting. Maya, as we get set to go inside, what are we expecting?
Yeah, Rolly and Faith. Now, the board is looking to extend the current curfew that's put in place for weeknights and making it apply to nights on weekend. Now, the updated policy says that until September 2nd of this year, people who are under 18 will not be allowed on the street between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. This all comes after members of the community, business owners, and even parents look for something to be done after an incident that took place Saturday night. You'll see that video on your screen now of the chaos that circulated on social media as dozens of young people gathered around the River Market near East Markham, getting in fights, eventually running from police after they responded to a gunshot. At least one 16-year-old was arrested for having a handgun, and police say no injuries were reported or buildings damaged. I got the chance to speak with Hertz Donut owner Connor Grimes. Yesterday, we heard from a store employee experience amid Saturday's chaos. Today, he tells me that this has been going on for quite some time.
When that curfew ends, the kids are all coming down to the State House Convention Center because that's not part of the entertainment district. And so they've been gathering over one block by the hundreds with nothing to do besides come into Hertz.
Yeah, Mr. Grimes also tells me that because of these concerns, he's even had to change his shop hours. Now at 6 o'clock, we'll hear from Mayor Frank Scott, board of directors, and even members of the community who are attending tonight's meeting that's starting at 6 o'clock today. And we'll have more information at 10 tonight. Live in downtown Little Rock, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Maya, thank you. New details were made available to us today explaining a massive grant being poured into fairs and livestock shows across the state. The money is part of the AG Department's fair funding program. $1.4 million will be used to cover operational costs, improve facilities, and pay for livestock-related expenses. Together, the funding will cover significant upgrades for 80 different fairs in Arkansas. In a statement sent to our newsroom, Secretary of Agriculture Wes Ward expressed confidence in the collaborative work and says it will garner interest in an industry that is, quote, critical to the daily lives of everyday Arkansans, end quote.
FEMA is reminding anyone with damage from April's storms to apply for disaster relief within the next week. The deadline for submitting a request is next Tuesday, the 22nd. Got further details and a link on how to access the application on our website right now. Also, a special note for people living in Hot Spring County who need in-person assistance. FEMA's going to be there to meet people hit by tornadoes earlier this spring. You'll need to visit the office that's behind the courthouse on 220 Olive Street in Malvern. Business hours Monday through Friday between 8 and 5, and then Saturday they'll be open from 9 to 1. The roads in Faulkner County are being paved with good intentions. At least that's the intention, to fix some streets more quickly.
THV 11's Carter Thweet reports on the new process that might slow you down this week but promises faster trips later.
This is the second year we started a new program.
Tom Anderson is the road administrator for Faulkner County, and on Tuesday, that means overseeing the program in question. It's the Surface Preservation Program, and this year it's focusing on 5 roads, according to County Judge Alan Dodson.
We're on Rocky Point right now, Barrel Road South, Shawbridge Road, Linder Road, and Merritt Road. And our Faulkner County residents will recognize all of those as major through routes.
The program involves 2 phases.
Water is not the road's friend, so that water goes to those cracks. This process comes in and puts a seal down with oil that goes into the cracks, a small thin layer of small gravel.
Then 5 days after that gravel seal, crews will come back and overlay it using this technique called microsurfacing, turning this into this.
And we come back with what you saw today, and that's the microsurface, which is a hard polymer that seals the water from going down into the road.
That second phase can lead to some delays, with the microsurfacing taking around 40 minutes to dry. But Judge Dodson says doing this work now will hopefully prevent major work in the future.
If we were to have to rebuild this road, the inconvenience to the neighborhood and the through traffic goes through the roof. You're talking weeks, sometimes months.
In Faulkner County, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Judge Dodson says so far the roads they treated last year are holding up great, but this is a 3-year program, so a final decision on whether or not to continue it will be made next year. The full list of what roads will be affected is on our website, thv11.com.
Arkansas's Historic Preservation Program has authorized $24 million to help restore an aging building in Saline County. We got images that show the extent of roofing damage inside the offices of the old Independent Order of Odd Fellows meeting hall. Originally constructed in 1913, the building is today the home of the local historical society and right across from the historic county courthouse. Saline County set to receive that total award of $24,000. We said million. Let's correct that. The money will be used to replace that roof we showed you. And in addition, the county itself is matching a contribution up to $12,000, so $36 grand, all going towards fixing the roof.
And we're learning more on the immediate threat small community hospitals face in Arkansas in light of recent budget cuts. Experts warn a near majority of hospitals statewide already struggle with making profit. Should any rural hospitals actually cease operations, thousands of people could be forced to drive some 40 minutes out the way just to be seen.
If they need immediate care, then they're out of luck. If they have to travel, if they don't have transportation themselves, they have to reach out to neighbors or friends to take them.
Organizations like Welcome Health are stepping in to try and satisfy needs for anyone who might lose coverage.
Well, this is one instance where I cannot blame Nathan Scott for this weather. Faith begged for this hot and steamy weather. This is all on Faith right here. Amen. Heat advisory in effect Wednesday. We're going to see that advisory all the way into the weekend, I fear. Coming back after the break, we'll talk about those scattered storms and how hot it's going to be.
Plus, coming up, if you're on the north side of the river, we've got a reason to visit a certain cafe the next time you need a bite to eat.
We've got details on a special diner serving a side of hope with its hot lunches.